All right, welcome into the Players Club. It is the Week 9 edition. I'm Jim Dunaway. That's Lance Taylor. And joining us on remote from his beautiful studios is Morgan Wallen. No, it's not. It's Mick Gillespie from Bama Insider on 3 Sports. Explain to it's Halloween season.
Yeah, guys, look, I know that you do your Halloween show on Halloween, right? Well, I'm not going to be there for that. Next time we hang out, it'll be after. So I wanted to bring to you me as Jason Bateman portraying Morgan Wallen from Innisfree, right? During COVID, remember he came to town. So I'm future Morgan Wallen today.
Future Morgan Wallen. Now you got to take, let me see the hair, the back of the hair there. That stuff is grown
mullet
out.
Wow, I know. It's my own hair, my own mullet.
Yeah, that is a legit mullet.
Yeah. Does the wife like the hair? Does she like the mullet?
Yeah, I mean, I just got to trim it up, But I got a lot of party in the back right now. So, I've been working on this for a while.
So what is your wife going as with Morgan Wallen?
She's got she wanted to go as Dolly Parton, but I think she's going to go as another country singer. She's got like a wig, and we're going out tomorrow night down in Mobile. So I'm definitely she hasn't said exactly which one it is to me yet, but I think she was going to determine that based off of who she looked most like, but not Dolly Parton because the wig's brown.
Yeah. Well, I mean, having met your wife, I won't make this creepy, but I can send her a nice Maren Morris outfit that I think she'd look fantastic in.
There you go.
Tell us about the wonderful folks at the Golden Moon Hotel and Casino in Philadelphia, Mississippi.
Hey, look, guys, this is the time of year where the three of us and all of our friends that hang out with us here on the Players Club or on 3, Bama Insider, or the next round, we need to pack it up and head over to the Sportsbook at the Timeout Lounge. And you got all the TVs, all the games on there. You don't need the Fire Stick. You just go in, tell them what you want to watch. They have it on. Great big game atmosphere, but a lot of the obscure things too, because people are betting on everything: college football, World Series, NFL, NBA, hockey. You got international soccer, NASCAR. So all that stuff going on right now. And what's cool is they have an amazing golf course, Dancing Rabbit. It's the Augusta that you can play. It's just amazing. And take my word for it, or just go bet $50 and you can play it for $30. You don't have to be a member, which is really cool too.
Yeah, that's the Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. Play the game there. Let's get into our games. We got 5 winners for you today. We'll all pick these games. We start at 11 a.m. on ABC. Notre Dame and Syracuse. LT, I'll start with you. Syracuse probably outplayed Clemson last week. They don't get the W. How do they come back to earth to battle a stingy Notre Dame team coming to town?
Here's the good for Syracuse. 6-1 against the number this year. They're playing great defense, holding opponents to 15 points per game, best in the ACC. The bad is they're averaging almost 10 accepted penalties per game. That's tied with Cincinnati for the worst in the FBS. And Garrett Schrader, as good as he was early on, 1 pick through his first 5 games. He's thrown 3 in his last 2. They've got to clean things up. Notre Dame on the other side, they've won 11 of 12 straight up on the road. And since going 0-2 to start the season, they've won 4 of 5. Notre Dame's not going to be scared on the road. This is not going to be a huge environment. I think Syracuse loses back-to-back games. I like Notre Dame in this spot.
I like Notre Dame too, Mick. Schrader was so good in the first half against Clemson. Then I thought he tried to do too much in the second half.
Yeah, look, they had a 21-10 lead going into the fourth quarter, and when Clemson got into a crunch, right, they brought in the guy that should have been quarterback from the beginning of the year, and they came back and won the football game 27-21. What happens, though, is when you play a close game like this, and what I saw is that Syracuse is a really good football team. They were better than I thought. I figured Clemson would win the football game. Yeah, I was right about that, but they didn't cover the spread. I was wrong on that aspect. And Syracuse could have easily won the football game last week. Now they play a Notre Dame team that's been inconsistent. They don't have Brian Kelly coaching. I think they're going to eventually need to make a head coaching change there. They don't have the right fit. This is a team that lost to Marshall. They lost to Stanford. They're inconsistent. And the other part of this is that Syracuse is a good football team, particularly at home. I like Syracuse in this football game. I think they're going to win this thing. But really, what I really love about this game is the under. It's 46. Both of these teams have, can have trouble scoring. Syracuse likes to play those kind of grinded out football games. So if I was playing this game, I'd take Syracuse, and I would definitely take the under 46.
You would take the under. Last time Syracuse was this good, it was 7 summers ago. Morgan Wallen song if you're scoring at home for you there. West Virginia is our next game. TCU and West Virginia, 11 a.m. on ESPN. Mick, I'll start with you. Neil Brown, he's under fire a little bit. He's 12-18 in Big 12 play, but he's owed $20 million if they fire him this year. Hard to imagine West Virginia in the Big 12. They don't have SEC Big 10 money. It's hard to believe they would fire him owing him $20 million.
Yeah, right. Or Jimbo Fisher owed like $95 million. And I think that's why these coaches are smart to get big buyouts because, maybe you have some injuries and you don't have a great season. Doesn't mean that you're not a good coach, right? The problem is that TCU, Max Duggan, this is a really good football team. They find a way to win each week. They're 7-0. They're a team that you better pay attention to because they're starting to roll through some pretty good competition. Morgantown, though, is a tough place to play. I grew up not too far from there. I know about the traditions. The problem is that Duggan just completes a bunch of passes, almost 70%. He's got almost 2,000 yards passing, 19 touchdowns, just one interception. West Virginia is going to have to tackle with D. Winters. They're going to have to make a lot of plays on offense if they want to burn their couches after this game. I'm taking West Virginia, not to win, but to cover.
I don't know why I'm doing this, but because it's a tick over a touchdown, the way TCU has played these tight games, sooner or later it's going to catch up with them. Duggan has been fantastic. You mentioned the one pick. It was on a Hail Mary to end a half, so it wasn't even a legitimate pick. On the other side, West Virginia's only intercepted 2 passes the entire year. So they're not forcing turnovers, but they've covered 6 straight against TCU going back to 2016. They're 4-1 against the number versus ranked teams over the last 2 years. JT Daniels bounces back from the 3-interception game. I think CJ Donaldson's back in the lineup. I think they play well enough to get under the number. I think TCU wins the game, but I'll take the Mountaineers with the cover.
Yeah, I'll take the Mountaineers with the cover, too. Maybe we are all just looking through some whiskey glasses right there. Another Morgan Wallen song for you there. Don't forget, you can make it all the way over to the Golden Moon Casino. Play the game over there. The Golden Moon Hotel Casino in Philadelphia, Mississippi, less than 2 hours away from Birmingham, a little over an hour away from Tuscaloosa. The Sportsbook at Timeout Lounge, Vegas-style sports gaming there for you. And if you bet $50 before March Madness, you bet $50, you get to play Dancing Rabbit, the beautiful golf course over there, for just $30. It's the Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. Time to play the game. All right, up next, back into the SEC we go. It's Arkansas at Auburn. LTU start us off here. Arkansas has never beaten Auburn under Sam Pittman. Auburn's got a win streak going on, but this has been a week where Auburn folks have been watching the transfer portal and their players hit them.
Yeah, look, there's 3 positives, Mick, I think, for Auburn. Harson's 9-1 in his career coming off a bye. They've won 6 straight. Auburn has over Arkansas. And Arkansas's 13th in SEC in scoring defense, giving up almost 33 points per game. With that said, I just think Arkansas is the better team. They lost 3 consecutive games last year. They rebounded, ended up going 9-3. They've still got that opportunity. I think they're going to be favored in their remaining 5 games. I don't know if they win those or not. I think it is a tricky game, but I think it comes down to Raheem Sanders, KJ Jefferson running the football. They're averaging 9th in rushing offense right now in the FBS with 240 yards per game. And Auburn right now has got one of the worst rush defenses against the Power 5, giving up 260 yards per game. So I think Arkansas will be able to run on this team. Auburn keeps it close early. Arkansas wears them down. I like the Hogs here.
He likes the Hogs. I like the Hogs too, Mick. What about you? Do you think Auburn has any fight left in the tank this week?
Look, I think it's going to come down to the running game, but I think it's going to come down to Tank Bigsby and Auburn's run game. Arkansas is 0-3 when they allow 160 yards more in a game rushing, but they're 4-0 when they give up fewer. So is Auburn going to be able to run the ball like they did against Ole Miss? They lost 48-34, but they played a really good game. Lane Kiffin just kind of surprised them with the onside kick, and by doing that, kind of changed the momentum of the game. KJ Jefferson, they're saying should be okay. Well, is that should be okay or will be okay? Without KJ Jefferson, this isn't the same Arkansas team, right? They've been Jekyll and Hyde. It seems like they've been banged up all year. I know Auburn's hemorrhaging players right now. They've got a coach that's about to be fired, but I got to tell you, Brian Harsin has earned my respect just because with everything going on, man, he's been so steady And eventually he's going to be a really good coach when he goes somewhere where they appreciate him. I think Auburn feels like they can beat Arkansas. I don't know if they can, but I don't think Arkansas is going to beat them by more than 3.5.
Yeah, so you take Auburn right here in the points.
Give me the points.
And that one right there. As we continue on the Players Club, remember lanceslock.com is where you get all of Lance's play. You can see Mick on Bama Insider on 3 Sports all the time, and he's always talking ball with you guys. How do we become subscribers to lanceslock.com?
Really simple, Dunaway. It's only $90 per month. You get everything. You get the college football. You get the NFL. You get the World Series, NBA. We've had 17 consecutive non-losing weeks going all the way back to June. We're going to win for you. It's only $90 per month. Other services charging thousands of dollars. We charge you $90. Try it for a month. If you don't like it, you can jump off. But we would appreciate you giving us a shot because we're going to win for you. Again, lanceslock.com. You get a free winner every day.
The ABC ESPN #1 crew with Fowler and Herbstreit and Holly Rowe will be back in the SEC after doing the Bama game last week. They're in Knoxville for Kentucky, Tennessee at 6 o'clock on ESPN this week. Mick, I really believe that Tennessee's about to play the 2 biggest games in the country these next 2 weeks. I think Kentucky has a fighting chance in this one. In fact, I'm going to take Kentucky because of Will Levis. I don't know if you can have a paycheck game in college, but with all the scouts and a national television audience with that crew this week, I think Will Levis is trying to live up to his NFL stock. I like Will Levis. Who do you like in Kentucky and Tennessee?
Look, it's a 12.5-point spread right now. Tennessee, I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but they're doing the blackout jerseys and helmets, right? They're all black with the orange. Is that going to get them fired up? You know, I like gimmicks, but I see you also got to go out there and play some football. I think Kentucky's going to figure out a way to slow down Tennessee's attack to stay within the number. Kentucky's coming off of a bye week. Look, Tennessee might as well have had a bye week. But Kentucky, they're kind of a quirky team. You mentioned that Will Levis is back, after the finger deal. And they really have to have him. The problem is that Kentucky doesn't do a great job of protecting the quarterback. They're going to have to run the football. They're going to have to control the clock. I mean, Tennessee already gives up the time of possession game every week. They don't even care about that, right? They're just the quick scores with Hendon Hooker, who's, maybe the Heisman Trophy winner at the end of this season. The reason why I'm taking Kentucky, though, is I just think this is the classic look-ahead game. Next week when Tennessee heads over to Georgia, that's the biggest game. Game day is going to be back there again. It'll be the 3rd time Tennessee's been on game day. They're looking ahead, I think, a little bit. I don't know that they'll lose the football game, but I just think that Kentucky does a good job. Mark Stoops likes to muck things up. And honestly, look, if they had a healthy Will Levis at the end of the Ole Miss game, he played hurt, maybe they beat Ole Miss, right? I don't know that they'll win the game. I like Rodriguez at running back, but I think that they'll go in there and hold their own and keep it within 12.5.
Hey, since 2018, only 4 coaches. Their offenses have averaged 40 points and 500 yards per game. Nick Saban, Ryan Day, Lincoln Riley, Josh Heupel. Heupel's offense is that good. The problem is his pass defense is awful. They're 130th out of 131 versus the pass, giving up 330 yards per game. You look at Kentucky, 3-0 against the number versus ranked opponents this year. Will Levis threw for 372 and 3 touchdowns last year. I think he has a lot of success, plays his best game on Saturday. I think it's a tight game. I think Tennessee wins. I'll take Kentucky plus points.
So we're all on Kentucky there. One more to go, one more pick, and we'll do the big game in College Station. But this is the Players Club brought to you by the wonderful folks over at the Golden Moon Hotel in Philadelphia, Mississippi. Hotel and casino over there, and you can find the Sportsbook and Timeout Lounge. Easy drive wherever you watch the Players Club or listen to the Players Club every week. A great chance to get over there and enjoy all the games on all the big screens. They've got every sport, whether it's the NBA, whether it's the World Series, whether it's the NFL, college football, NHL's up and rolling. Anything you want to play, NASCAR for the last couple of races, you can do it all. And if you bet $50 before we get to the big dance, Bet $50, you get to play the Dancing Rabbit Golf Course for only $30. It's a great golf course. It's a great guys' weekend over at the Golden Moon Casino. Pack up the clubs, go over there, play golf in the morning at the Dancing Rabbit, gamble all night long, enjoy great food at the Golden Moon Casino over there, proud sponsor of the Players Club. All right, LT, I'll start with you. Ole Miss and Texas A&M. Ole Miss now having to come down off a loss once again on the road against the Texas A&M team that is reeling at 3-4. But you made a point about A&M's schedule on the show earlier today on the next round that they're in a pretty good spot for the next few weeks.
Yeah, they've got an opportunity to win some games and bounce back. I don't know how they're going to win those games, Mick. Jimbo Fisher is saying all the wrong things. Lane Kiffin is talking way too much. You look at the matchup. Judkins has already got 12 rushing touchdowns, the most by an SEC freshman since Johnny Manziel.
Right. And he's a 3-star.
Way back in 2012, you're right, a 3-star from the state of Alabama. And A&M allowing 179 yards per game on the ground, third worst in the SEC. There's just something that tells me A&M's going to play well. I think Jackson Dart is loose with the football. They force multiple turnovers. A-Chain has a big game. I'll take A&M here. I think they win the game outright.
Mick, what about you?
Look, I don't know. When you hear rumors or guys are suspended, maybe they're smoking weed before the game in the clubhouse, or in the locker room. I mean, that's not a good sign for your program. On top of that, when everyone knows what your buyout is, $95 million buyout. I mean, how many times have we talked about Jimbo Fisher? And then you nailed it, Lance. I mean, every time the guy's on, he says something stupider than what he said the last time he was on, right? I mean, the comment this week where he's like, why would you want to go somewhere where they win? Well, I don't know. I guess I want to be a winner and not a loser, right? He has just been an absolute clown of himself. This year in particular, the brawl he had with Nick Saban. Coming into the season, though, I had a lot of respect for what the program was doing because, and I don't have a problem with those guys going out and spending a bunch of money on NIL. I mean, if that's what the rules say you can do, then do it, right? I mean, that's kind of the way that this thing's going these days. And he's got all these young prospects, these 5-stars and 4-star guys. They need to get out on the football field. Losing to South Carolina last week was terrible. I mean, I can't even believe it. They got better players at about every position, and they still found a way to lose. But you're right. They're going to be back at home this week. They lost at Mississippi State, at Alabama, at South Carolina, but maybe being at home where, they had some good wins over Miami and some other good wins, right? Oh, no, maybe not, right? They lost to Appy State, was it? This is going to be another loss for them. And it's Lane Kiffin wants this game. Obviously, he took a shot at his old defensive coordinator this week. He loves this kind of back and forth. I don't think he's going to want to be embarrassed. And I just feel like Texas A&M's program is in deep trouble right now. And look, they're not getting rid of Jimbo Fisher. He's going to be there. Maybe he'll circle the wagons at the end of the year. But I think the Rebels get back on track. There's just too much offense. If Texas A&M falls behind, they're like a turtle on its back. They just can't quite get their leg underneath of them to flip them both off their shell. And I just feel like it's going to be one of those games. I think Ole Miss has had a week to think about how they just absolutely bumbled their game against LSU in the second half. And in this conference, you don't have to wait around long to find a little bit of redemption.
All right. So Ole Miss, your pick, right?
I'm taking Lane Kiffin and the
Lane
Rebs.
Kiffin and Ole Miss. That pick,
toddy.
That pick is not wasted on you, young Morgan Wallen. Nice costume. We always appreciate you being with us. This is the Players Club. Mick, tell everybody where they can get you during the week.
Yeah, look, hang out with us on the Bama Insider YouTube channel. We celebrated our 80,000th subscriber yesterday,
wow,
which is so cool, And I've been there when I started there a couple years ago. We were at 31,000. So, I mean, it's just been an incredible climb. If you like Alabama coverage or football coverage, we've got everything. Talking about press conferences, I host shows on there. We've got, just an array of guys that cover recruiting, including Andrew Bone, who's been so good at it for so long. So we're kind of, on the cutting edge of that, and the site's just getting better and better. So, I've got shows on Monday and Tuesday. And then when there's a game during the week, which this weekend I'll be off, dressed like Morgan Wallen at different parties. But next week, Friday night, we'll have our show from the Floor Bama previewing Alabama. from 6 to 8. You can watch it. And then on Saturday after the game, we have our coverage of Alabama, take a lot of calls and talk about Alabama and LSU.
Yeah, that's always good. And, of course, lanceslock.com, lanceslock.com, your chance to sign up for the rest of football season in basketball.
Yeah, again, we've got everything, including the World Series, the NBA, college football, of course. The NFL, 17 consecutive non-losing weeks. Jump on board with us. It's only $90 for everything. We give you a free play each and every day at lanceslock.com. Jump on board, lanceslock.com.
LT and I a lot alike this week. We both like Notre Dame. Mick likes Syracuse. West Virginia for all of us in that game as they play host to TCU, so a little shakeup in the college football playoffs. Mick thinks Auburn comes up fighting at Jordan-Hare. LT and I like Arkansas close to cover. UK for all of us in Neyland, not to win but to cover. And then it's Ole Miss for Mick and I in College Station. LT is riding with Jimbo. That is the Players Club for week number 9.